Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to my YouTube channel at the rate Master in English. So, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss two very important topics of research methodology. So, first topic that we are going to discuss in today's class is scientific method. In addition to that, second topic we are going to discuss in this class is problem formulation. So, before understanding these topics, let us first understand why we need to study them with some simple real life example. So my aim in this class is to make these concepts very easy, practical and interview oriented so that you can understand them clearly and answer confidently in examination and interviews. So before understanding these topics, first of all let's understand why do we need to study these topics. So let's understand this with the help of real life example. Suppose a company notices that customers are not buying its product. So now the company wants the answer of some questions like why our sales are decreasing? What is the reason behind that? What problems are customer facing? Maybe they didn't get the good quality of foods, price may be high so they are unable to buy the product, and they are not aware about the product. In addition to that, another question is what improvements are needed. So basically it's the responsibility of the manager or the companies to aware the customers about the product features so that customers are aware about the product and they buy more products. In that way, companies make strategies for the market so that they enhance their sales in the market. Which strategy will increase the sales? They also have the responsibility to identify which strategy will work in the market. Now, students, can the company simply guess the answers? The answer is no. They can't guess the answer of these questions without doing the research. The company must collect the proper information first. In addition to that, they also study the facts carefully, like why sales are decreasing in the market. First of all, they need to identify the reason, identify the problem behind that. They also need to analyze the customer opinions, like they first of all identify these reasons. Maybe customer want the less price of the product, customer maybe want the good quality of product. So it's the responsibility of the company. They analyze the problem thoroughly. They know the customer opinion so that they can provide the good facilities for the customer. In addition to that, they also identify the real problem scientifically. So basically this systematic and logical way of solving problems is called scientific method. But before solving any problem, any kind of problem, researchers must clearly identify what exactly is the problem. So basically this process is called the problem formulation. So therefore we study these topics because they help the researchers to solve problems scientifically. In addition to that, they improve accuracy in the research and they also reduce the confusion and mistakes because in the research they follow the proper steps. They help the researchers to identify the real problem. Moreover, they are very important for exams, interviews, viva and research work. So now let's understand the first topic. So first of all, let's understand the meaning of scientific method. So basically, scientific method means a Systematic, that means step by step, and logical process used to conduct research and solve problems using facts, observation, analysis, and reasoning. So basically, it is based on observation, it is also based on data collection. In addition to that, it is also based on logical reasoning, it is also based on testing. That means when you analyze the data, so you have to apply some tests. First of all, you have to identify the data is partially distributed or non-distributed. So if the data is distributed, then you use the different test to analyze the test and to analyze the data. If the data is non-distributed, then you can use the non-parametric test. So basically, scientific method is a systematic and logical way of solving problems through observation, facts, and analysis. So students, scientific method does not depend on guessing or personal opinion. It is totally depend on facts, evidence, logic, and proper investigation. So researchers collect the accurate information and analyze it carefully before reaching the conclusions. Scientific method also help the researchers to avoid confusion, improve accuracy, and get reliable result. So now take another example of scientific method. Suppose a restaurant notices that few customers. So now the owner want to know why our customers are not visiting the restaurant. Maybe customers are not like the product, not like the food that provided in the restaurant. Instead of guessing the answer by the owner, they collect the customer feedback. They also ask the customers, what about the food? Do you like or not? If you not like the food, then what is the reason behind that? They also studies the complaint regarding the food quality, regarding the price, and regarding the employees' behavior. In addition to that, they also analyze the food quality and services that provided in the restaurant, and also identifies the real reason, so that in the restaurant they provide the best services for the customers. So after analysis, the owner improves food quality and customer service. This complete process is called the scientific method. Next, we have the characteristics of scientific method. So basically, first characteristics of scientific method is it is systematic. Systematic means it follows the proper steps. Scientific method is also based on logic. That means it is based on reasoning. It is objective in nature. That means it is free from personal bias. Let's take an example. So basically, you always see that in the examination, the teacher provide the questions to the students. First of all, they give the two type of questionnaire to the student. First one is MCQ type questions, where they just want to know the answer of the questions. So basically, when they provide the MCQ type questions to the student, then it is objective in nature. Here student didn't they don't mention anything extra in the question paper, but If teacher ask this kind of question like tell me about yourself, so in a class 50 student is there, so basically when 50 student respond of these questions, tell me about yourself, then their opinion is very different from each other. So there is the chances of personal bias, because one student answer of this question is very different way and second one is answer this question in a different way. So there is a chances of personal bias and it is subjective in nature. So scientific method is also analytical in nature. That means the studies the information carefully. Next characteristics of scientific method is evidence based. So basically scientific method is based on evidence. It totally depends on facts and data. Next we have importance of scientific method. So it improves the research accuracy. It helps to solve the problem logically. It also provides the reliable result and it reduces errors and confusion. And in addition to that, it also improves the decision making. Now come to the second topic. The second topic is problem formulation. So first of all, let's understand the meaning of problem formulation. So basically, problem formulation means clearly identifying and defining the research problem. It is the first and most important steps in research. So first of all, let's understand the definition of problem formulation. So basically, problem formulation is the process of identifying and clearly defining the research problem. So students, before conducting research, researchers must know what exactly is the problem. If the problem is not clear, researcher becomes confusing. Data collection becomes difficult and result may become inaccurate. For example, one student want to crack the net JRF exam. So it's the responsibility of the student first of all identify the syllabus regarding the net syllabus regarding a particular subject, and after that make a strategy like in a single day how many topics they cover in a single day, and how many hours he need to spend to cover these topics. If the problem is not clear, if the syllabus is not clear, then the student unable to pass the exam. So in the similar way, if the problem is not clear, the researcher become confused. So in that case the research become confusing. Data collection becomes difficult because the problem is not clear to the researcher, and results may become inaccurate. So it's very important to identify the problem first before doing research. Therefore, the researchers first identify and define the problem properly. Problem formulation gives the direction, clarity, and focus to research. So let's take one example based on problem formulation. Suppose a cosmetic company notices that sales are decreasing in the market. Now the company cannot simply say sales are low. This statement is too broad and unclear. Instead, the company clearly defines the problem like this. like this: why are young customers shifting from our cosmetic brand to competitor brand? They can also work on this statement. This is called the problem formulation. This problem is specific, clear, and research oriented. Next, we have the characteristics of good problem formulation. So basically, a good research problem should be clear, specific, researchable, practical, and focused. Next, we have importance of problem formulation. So basically, problem formulation is very important because it gives the direction to research, and it also saves time and effort. It also helps in proper data collection and improves the research quality and increases accuracy of results. Next, we have difference between scientific method and problem formulation. So basically, scientific method help to solve the problem scientifically, and if we talk about the problem formulation, it identifies and defines the problem. Scientific method uses the facts and analysis method, and problem formulation gives the direction to the research. Scientific method follows the logical steps, and if we talk about the problem formulation, it clarifies the research focus. So now we are going to discuss the interview questions based on these two topics. So first topic that they can ask in the examination: what is the scientific method? So you have to reply of this question in this way: scientific method is a systematic and logical way of solving problems through facts, observation, and analysis. In the examination, they may also ask this question in this way: what is problem formulation? So basically, problem formulation is the process of identifying and clearly defining the research problem. So now come to the conclusion part. So today we understood meaning of scientific method, meaning of problem formulation, importance of these concepts, and real life examples related to research. So these concepts are very important because they help the researchers to conduct research scientifically and systematically. They are also very useful for examinations, interviews, viva, and future research work. So this is all about for the today's class. So students, today we understood scientific method and problem formulation in a very simple and practical way with real life examples. If your basics are clear, advanced research topics becomes much easier to understand. So thank you so much for attending today's class. Bye bye, take care, have a good day. Keep learning, keep signing, keep growing.